Good morning, everyone. This is Nancy here from MemoryLane Care Services. Today we're going to be doing a talk on Baltimore Orioles and birds, and it's one of my favorite subjects. I love birds. I have feeders at home and birdhouses, so I want to share things with you, and I have a special guest with me today. Jay, you want to come up here?
Hi there.
So this is Jay. Jay, you have to sit still here. Jay's going to help me today. I'm going to be showing you some things and doing some readings, and then Jay's going to help me, right?
Yeah.
You're going to help me with the trivia? And you probably know all about these birds.
I know a lot. I'm so happy to be here.
So you go down and you wait for me, and I'm going to do some teaching, then I'll bring you back when it's trivia, okay?
Okay. See you later.
All right. So I want to first start out this morning with some poetry that has to do with birds. So one, this is by Emily Dickinson. It says, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all." And then here is another one about being optimistic. "Start the morning with this thought. I've never lived this day before. This will be a happy day. It will be a day of great accomplishment. Life begins each morning. Each morning is the open door to a new world, new vistas, new aims, new tryings." Oh, let's see. Here's one that says, "It's the peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things." So with those words shared, now we're going to get into talking about the Baltimore Oriole. And I want to show you a picture of a Baltimore Oriole before we start talking. So I'm going to hold this up here. This is a Baltimore Oriole. This is actually a male Baltimore Oriole. The female has a really light orange colored breast, so you can't really see her, and that is because she's the female baby, and keeping the lighter colors keeps her protected and not standing out, where this male Baltimore Oriole is very bright and colorful and very cheery, and he actually uses those colors to attract females in the spring to have little ones. So that is the Baltimore Oriole, and I'm gonna read a little bit about the Baltimore Oriole. "Still widespread and common," this is the conservation status, "they're still widespread and common, but surveys show declines in recent decades. In the mid-20th century, Dutch elm disease killed many of the American elms that had been favorite nesting trees for this species in the past." So this is the family. The Baltimore Oriole is blackbirds and orioles. That's the family. The habitat, open woods, riverside groves, elms and shade trees, breeds in deciduous or mixed woodland, generally in open woods or edges rather than interior of dense forest, may be common in trees in towns, and they often favor elms. Winters mostly in the tropics around forest edge and semi-open country. Now I have an Oriole feeder at home, and it's like this one here to my right, and it is bright orange, which attracts the Baltimore Orioles. There are 2 cups in here. Baltimore Orioles love, they have a sweet tooth. They love grape jelly. So you can fill these with either grape jelly or mealworms. And then on the edges, there's these little pokey contraptions here, and you slice a half of an orange and you put that on each end, and they love the oranges too. So the bright orange color attracts them, and then the grape jelly and the oranges they love to eat. So that's a Baltimore Oriole feeder. Now, one of the most brilliantly colored songbirds in the East, flaming orange and black, sharing the heraldic colors of the coat of arms of 17th century Lord Baltimore. Widespread east of the Great Plains, Baltimore Orioles are often very common in open woods and groves in summer. Their bag-shaped hanging nest, artfully woven of plant fibers, they are familiar sights in the shade trees in towns. This bird was formerly considered to belong to the same species as the western Bullock's oriole, under the combined name of northern oriole. Forages by searching for insects among foliage of trees and shrubs, sometimes flies out to catch insects in midair. They visit flowers for nectar and will come to sugar water feeders, also will come to pieces of fruit put out at feeders, and like we said, the oranges and the grape jelly. As far as their eggs go, they have 4 to 5, sometimes 3 to 6. They're bluish white to pale gray in color with brown and black markings concentrated at larger end. The incubation is by female, about 12 to 14 days. And for the young, both parents feed the nestlings, and the young leave the nest about 12 to 14 days after hatching, so really only about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and they're out of the nest. Their diet is insects, berries, and nectar, and in the summer they feed mostly on insects, especially caterpillars, including the hairy types, which are avoided by many birds. They also eat beetles, grasshoppers, wasps, bugs, and others, plus spiders and snails. They eat many berries and sometimes cultivated fruit. They feed on the nectar and will take sugar water. So in the nesting, the male bird sings to defend nesting territory, and in courtship, the male faces the female and stretches upright, and he's got all the beautiful orange and black colors. That's brilliant. And then it bows deeply with its tail spread and wings partly open. Nest site is in a tall deciduous tree placed near the end of a slender drooping branch, usually 20 to 30 feet above the ground, but can also be higher. The nest built by the female, sometimes with help from the male, is a hanging pouch with its rim firmly attached to a branch. The nest is tightly woven by plant fibers, strips of bark, grapevines, grass yarn, string, Spanish moss lined with fine grass, plant down, and hair. So that's some facts about the Baltimore Oriole. So we're going to talk about the Baltimore Oriole just a little bit more. You ask anyone what color a Baltimore Oriole is, and chances are they'll know. The mascot and name of Maryland's professional baseball team, the Orioles' striking orange and black plumage make it one of our most recognizable and beloved Northern American species. But there's a lot more to know about this neotropical migrant than the hue of its feathers. Here are 10 more facts about the Baltimore Oriole. The Baltimore Oriole is a member of the New World Orioles, genus Erectus, which includes about 30 other species. 8 of these species occupy different regions of North America, and not without some overlap. During the summer, the Baltimore Oriole is widespread in states east of the Rockies, and its habitat stretches up into southern Canada. Most Baltimore Orioles spend their winters basking in sunny climates from southern Mexico to northwestern South America or on islands in the Caribbean. Some winter along the Gulf Coast and elsewhere in the southeastern United States. Every April and May, they return to their breeding grounds, where males try to assert their dominance over a 2 to 3 acre plot of land, and they wait for the females to arrive. So if you want to have a feeder out, you get it out around the end of March, and they usually stay up till about through September. Like many English language words, Oriole has Latin roots. It comes from Aureolus, Latin for golden. The name was first applied to completely unrelated family, the Old World Orioles, which can look similar. The Baltimore Oriole and its kin belong to the blackbird family. The English naturalist Mark Catesby, who visited eastern North America for several years in the early 1700s, reported that people in Virginia and Maryland called this species the Baltimore bird because males wore orange and black. the heraldic colors of Lord Baltimore, patron of the Maryland colony. The name Oriole wasn't applied to these birds until later. Now, Maryland has called the Baltimore Oriole its state bird since 1947, and it has given it special protections since 1882, 36 years before Congress passed the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Now, while the male Baltimores sport the flashy colors the species is known for, the females range from olive brown on their heads to yellow-orange toward their bellies. Young Baltimore males, on the other hand, don't achieve the Halloween look until they become about a year old. From that point on, though, their orange feathers grow deeper and more distinct. So I was thinking I had 4 females out at my feeder, but it could be they were 4 babies, 4 young males, because they're not the bright orange. Good to know. See, we all learn something from these. Here's another one. If you see an Oriole that looks decidedly more red than orange, it's not an orchard Oriole. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. Though rare, this aberrant feather pigmentation has been documented multiple times in the past 3 decades, and it's believed to be related to the consumption of berries produced by non-native honeysuckle plants imported to the U.S. in the mid-20th century. The Baltimore Oriole's basket-like hanging nest is one of the great wonders of the avian world. Over 5 to 8 days, females weave together whatever strong fibers they can find, grass, weeds, animal hair, string, until the nest is completed. The nest usually hangs about 30 feet off the ground, and they're located on the outer reaches of heavy branches, but they can sometimes be found suspended from a crook. Orioles' nests are so sturdy that the birds may reuse them after returning from their winter grounds months later. Now, while Orioles have a prodigious appetite for insects, they also possess a serious sweet tooth, or beak. One of the most surefire ways to attract a Baltimore to your backyard is to leave out a few orange slices, but other sweet fruits, a dollop of grape jelly, or even hummingbird feeder will also do the trick. Now, when eating fruits and berries, Baltimore Orioles sometimes practice an unusual eating method called gaping. After inserting their beak into whatever they are eating, they spread their beak out to create a tunnel of sorts and use their tongues to lap up the juices. Now, from 1973 to 1995, the Baltimore Oriole didn't exist on paper, that is. In 1973, a committee of the American Ornithologists Union noted frequent interbreeding between Baltimore's and their western counterparts, Bullock's Orioles. So the organization combined the two into one species called Northern Oriole. But further studies show that the Bullocks and the Baltimore Orioles aren't so similar. The Baltimore prefers wetter habitats and has its own song, in addition to just looking different. The later research showed that the two species didn't interbreed as much as one thought either. Eventually, after 22 years, the Union canned the Northern Oriole designation and brought back Bullock's and Baltimore. Now here's a bonus fact, a completely unrelated bird. The warbler known as the common yellowthroat was originally called the Maryland yellowthroat, and that name persisted in many books as late as the 1950s. So in the 1970s, after losing both the Maryland yellowthroat and temporarily the Baltimore Oriole, some birdwatchers in Baltimore felt more than a little jilted. So in addition to the Baltimore feeder, one way that you can draw the Orioles to your house is you can actually make an orange snack on a feeder. I'm going to show you this picture. It doesn't come in all that great, but what you can do is you can take a half of an orange and you can cut it in half and then use a thin stick like a kebab skewer and a strong cord, and then you can just tie it to a branch and the birds will actually find it. So make sure you put it up high enough so hopefully cats won't be able to get to them. All right. Now I had a little bit of bird trivia about 3 different birds. One is a killdeer. These are kind of funny and strange facts. So I have a picture of a killdeer here. This is my National Audubon Society field guide. So I take this out. It has wonderful pictures and information on the birds. I'm going to show you the killdeer. It's actually this bottom bird right there, right here. So I'm going to read to you about the killdeer. And this says, and the Oscar goes to the killdeer. This eye-catching bird steals the show with its performance of a broken wing display. To draw an intruder or predator away from the nest site, the killdeer parents will fake an injury and they flail about, dragging a wing on the ground. That's amazing. When their display leads the threat far enough away from the eggs or the young, the parents suddenly become flight-worthy and they take off. Surprisingly, other birds such as snow owls, mourning doves, and plover also feign broken wings. And the killdeer have their nest on the ground. So it's a good thing that they have this gift of faking the broken wing to keep predators away from their nest. Now the next one we're going to talk about is the northern cardinal. And I have this bookmarked for the northern cardinal, and I'm sure you've all seen them. Right here is the northern cardinal, and that is a male. And the way you can tell it's a male is because it's so bright red with a black mask. And I'm not sure if they have the female close by here. I do not see the female cardinal, but she is much lighter. She has more gray on her and the light red. So this one, it says, fights its own reflection. Some male birds, such as male northern cardinals, are known to fight their own reflections in a window, a vehicle mirror, or chrome hubcap. It is believed that these males see the reflection as a competing bird and attack it in an attempt to drive it off. Often this aggressive behavior continues for a couple of days, but sometimes it goes on for months. So if you see one of these cardinals pecking at your car window, you'll know why. And then the last bird that we have, it says anting for hygiene. Some birds perform a highly specialized behavior that may benefit feather health called anting. After deliberately disturbing an ant mound, the birds will lie down and allow the ants to crawl all over them. Some of these birds crush the ants with their beaks and they wipe the bug juice all onto their feathers. It is thought that the formic acid discharged in the ant's defense acts like an insecticide, helping to eliminate ectoparasites in the feathers. Some believe it also acts like a fungicide or bactericide. So who knew that? That's another new fact for me as well. So if you ever want to go out in May, the first week, it's like the 5th starts about the 5th or 6th of May, they have the biggest birding week of the year out at McGee Marsh, which is really close to us. And it's by Mentor Lagoons is what it is. And that is very close. That is when the birds, the warblers, come in. And there's people that come from all over the world. They come from different countries, actually, and all over states to come and witness the hundreds and thousands of warblers coming in. They're absolutely beautiful. So a book, if you ever want to get into birding, I actually got this out at McGee Marsh. But it's a Lake Erie birding trail book, guidebook, and it's got wonderful pictures. And it's got maps, and it tells you what to look for. So it's a great way to get started along with your National Audubon book. Now to finish up, I'm going to get my friend Jay. I told you he was going to be coming back. He's going to come back and he's going to help me. Okay, Jay, can you say hello again?
Hi, everybody.
Now we're going to do trivia, okay? Can you help me?
I can. Here we go.
All right, let's see here. So every female member of the hawk family lays green eggs, which are green on the inside as well. On the whole, only male birds sing. Did you know that, Jay?
I did know that.
North African ostrich lay the largest bird eggs. They are 6 to 8 inches.
Wow, that's big.
Hummingbirds' eggs are only about 0.39 inches. So now we got a bird quiz. You're going to help me with this one, okay? So Jimmy Durante is best known for this. You remember Jimmy Durante? He was kind of known for this. Well, he had a big nose. What bird can you think of that has a big nose besides you?
Hey.
How about a grosbeak?
Yeah, they have a big beak.
So what bird symbolizes peace? You know that one? Do you guys know that one? What bird symbolizes peace?
I say a dove.
That's right, it is a dove. How about the official U.S. bird? Does anybody know what that is? Do you know what that is?
The eagle. I like the eagles.
And the eagles, they're now more plentiful. They were rare for a while. How about another word for crazy? You know that one for sure.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
All right, a high-ranking Catholic official is a... Here, I'll give you a hint. How about this?
Oh, a cardinal.
And this is how the cardinal sounds. Let's see here. And actually the cardinals make more than that sound. They make about 6 different sounds. Okay, let's do a couple more here. How about this bird brings babies? You know who that would be?
I know, that's a stork.
Yep, you're correct. This bird is known for being wise.
I say an owl.
That is right. You're right. It is an owl. Let's see. Who plays in the outfield? What bird would you think for that?
I don't know that one.
How about a flycatcher?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You do this when you drink. What bird would that be? I bet you know that one. How about a swallow?
Yeah, just like that.
All right, and we're going to do one more. A bird that mimics is a...
That's a mockingbird.
I love the mockingbirds. The mockingbirds can actually pick up all sorts of different bird sounds, and then they can make them just like a recording, and they're beautiful. And I know we have them around here. I just don't hear them very often where I'm living right now. So is there anything else that you want to say?
I want to say, have a good day and watch for birds. They're a lot of fun. Have a good day.
Take care, and it was great talking to everybody. Bye-bye.